Exhaust smoke is not a diagnosis. It is evidence. Black, blue, white, or somewhere in between. The color is only the beginning, because if you know how to read the exhaust, the engine is already telling you where to look. Air, fuel, turbocharger performance, lubrication, combustion. The evidence is there.
Smoke gives direction, but color alone never confirms the failure. Exhaust temperature, cylinder balance, fluid consumption, and operating history must be read together. No single reading confirms the fault. The pattern of evidence creates the diagnosis.
Before you judge exhaust smoke by its color, establish the operating context. What is the engine load? Is the engine starting, accelerating, or running at steady load? How long does the visible smoke remain? And what are the ambient conditions? A short visible plume after start is not the same as continuous smoke under stable operating conditions. Now compare the units. These engines are operating at the same site, under the same ambient environment, but their visible exhaust behavior is not necessarily identical. That difference matters. Before blaming temperature, humidity, or weather, compare one engine against another. Smoke color is evidence, but duration, operating condition, engine load, and unit-to-unit comparison give that evidence meaning. Black smoke is a strong indication that the combustion process is operating with an insufficient air-to-fuel ratio. But that does not automatically mean the fuel system is the only problem. Start with the air path. Is the engine receiving the charge air mass required for its actual fuel demand and load? A reduction in turbocharger performance can reduce available combustion air. Fouling, restriction, or deterioration in the air and charge air path can produce the same basic result. Less oxygen available for the amount of fuel being injected. This is why turbocharger condition matters. Compressor wheel condition, fouling, rotor behavior, and the overall performance of the turbocharging system must be evaluated against engine operating parameters. But air is only one side of the ratio. Overfueling may result from fuel pump or control system faults, incorrect fuel command, or injector and nozzle defects affecting injection quantity and closing behavior. But remember, the fuel quantity itself may not be abnormally high. If available charge air mass drops, even normal fuel delivery can become excessive relative to the oxygen available for combustion. So do not diagnose black smoke by choosing air or fuel before you inspect the evidence. Verify engine load. Check charge air pressure and temperature. Compare turbocharger performance. Inspect for restriction and fouling. Then evaluate fuel control, injection quantity, and injector condition. Black smoke tells you the air-to-fuel relationship is wrong. The job of diagnosis is to determine why.
Oil burning does not always announce itself with obvious blue smoke. Smoke color changes with oil quantity, engine load, combustion temperature, and viewing conditions. The diagnostic path starts inside the cylinder. The top compression ring seals combustion pressure. The second ring provides secondary sealing and helps control blow-by. But the lower oil scraper ring has a different job. It controls the oil film on the liner surface and scrapes excess lubricant downward. When this ring is worn, damaged, or stuck by deposits, excess oil can remain on the liner wall and enter the combustion space. Now look at the liner. Deposits, abnormal surface condition, and vertical marking may support the diagnosis. But no single visual sign proves oil burning by itself. Confirm the evidence. Track lubricating oil consumption, inspect the ring pack, evaluate the liner surface, and correlate what you find with the exhaust behavior. Smoke is the symptom. The mechanical evidence tells you why. White or pale yellow exhaust smoke points the diagnosis in a different direction. In many diesel engines, this color is associated with fuel that entered the cylinder but did not burn completely. The first question is not simply how much fuel was injected. The question is how that fuel entered the combustion space. A healthy injector must deliver fuel at the correct pressure, at the correct time, and through a controlled spray pattern. The nozzle breaks the fuel into fine droplets. This is atomization. Smaller droplets expose more fuel surface to the hot compressed air and allow combustion to develop rapidly. But when a nozzle is worn, contaminated, carboned, or damaged, the spray pattern can deteriorate. Fuel may dribble. Droplet size may increase. The spray may become uneven. Now, part of the injected fuel can survive the combustion event without burning completely. The exhaust may appear white, pale gray, or yellowish. Injector condition is not the only possible cause. Incorrect injection timing can place fuel into the cylinder at the wrong point in the cycle. Low cylinder temperature can also delay ignition and weaken combustion. This is why cold engines may produce temporary white smoke during startup. But persistent smoke after the engine reaches operating temperature requires investigation. Check injector condition, check nozzle spray pattern and opening pressure. Check injection timing. Compare exhaust temperature between cylinders and pay attention to the smell of the exhaust. A sharp, raw fuel smell is evidence. The smoke color gives you the direction. White vapor points in a different direction. In a marine diesel engine, water or coolant may enter the combustion process. The source is not always immediately obvious. A liner sealing failure, a crack, or a cylinder head sealing problem may create a path from the cooling water side into the cylinder. When water enters the hot combustion space, it rapidly changes into vapor. The exhaust may then appear pale white, but smoke color alone does not confirm the failure. Check for unexplained cooling water loss. Inspect the cylinder for signs of water ingress. Check the scavenge drains for water presence, and compare the exhaust behavior between cylinders. Persistent white vapor is evidence. The pattern of evidence tells you where to investigate. For more marine engine fault diagnostics and practical solutions, subscribe to MECH TITAN. If you found this useful, like the video and tell us in the comments which engine fault we should diagnose next.